Audio is live. Yep, beautiful. Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Welcome in everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome to another episode of Weeb Time. Today we're going to be looking over and reviewing our thoughts of Kamen Rider Gotchard, the new installment for Kamen Rider series from Bandai Namco. I am joined with two lovely hosts. Both are very much Kamen Rider fans, and I think this would probably be a good chance to dive into the mind of a couple of weebs that are into Kamen Rider. My first host is the lovely and always plump BakuCraft.
Hello.
And then we have our lovely resident Kamen Rider Super Sentai and all things furry Hunter.
Hello there, everybody.
How we doing, guys? How we doing?
Doing good.
That's good.
Doing good so far. With you?
Not too bad. For anyone who's not aware, we might have done a bit of a goof on our first take of this, so oopsies. But we're all good.
It wasn't too. Yeah, it wasn't too much at least. So.
Nah, exactly much. That's exactly right. So first up, before we jump into it, have you guys seen the final episode of Kamen Rider Geats? Have you said your goodbyes? Did you do the prayers? Did you honor Geats in a way?
Sadly, I did. When I saw the final episode of Gates, that was, in all honesty, heartbreaking. But at the end, where they send off to make a Gotchard, that was not what I expected, to be quite honest.
What about you, Baku? What was your thoughts on that?
Oh, I enjoyed the final episode. Brain formulate.
But it was such a very interesting episode for Geats as well, like, because we sort of knew something big was about to happen, obviously, with how the end of the previous episode went, and then the start of this. I was like, hey, whoa, wow, you went really dark real quick. It's like, oh, that's
suddenly the main character's dead.
But it was such a, like, I was like, oh, hey, oh, this is a kid show. Why are you showing a kid show to shoot someone in the face? I'm like, hang on a minute, this is not adult version Kamen Rider. When did that happen? I was like, but no, that was, look, I was really happy. Like, overall, I like the end of the episode. I was like, hang on, why are we ending it like this? And then how it went from there, I was like, yeah, no, yep, that makes total sense. Yeah, okay, that worked.
He becomes Jesus.
He literally does. Now the only thing is now we're gonna see. Now we just got to see if he walks over water. And turns water into wine. But that was really cool. Like, I sort of had a feeling, like, it seems odd because he goes from being the actual, like, creation god to just being back to himself with the abilities, obviously, of creation. But in the end, he becomes a deity. Like, that was sort of like a real jump. So to me, that was a very unique way of doing it. So my question then would be, is like, does that mean he's a writer, like, completely gone? Or is he a writer that's someone like similar to Kamen Rider Gaim? Because Gaim is a god in another world. So is he going to be doing something where he'll just pop in when we need him? Like, that's going to be an interesting aspect for that.
That seems likely, yeah.
That definitely seems highly likely. If they're going to pull the Gaim rod on us, then that's not for Gates. Then we're going to see him again.
Oh,
that's going to be possible.
Well, they've still got to do the was it the Geats and Gotchard movie? Ooh,
yeah, the crossover movie. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah. But yes, let's talk about that handover. What did you guys think of it? I will say I'm a little disappointed in it for a couple of aspects. First of all, I think he's the youngest Reiwa rider so far. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's only
I didn't.
He's just
he's in high school.
Yeah, he just turned 18.
Oh yeah, that's something.
He is young, and I was like, oh. I was like, hang on a minute, this is a bit concerning. But then I was like, hang on, he's in high school. It's like, you're about to play a main protagonist in a TV school who's also in school. Ha! He goes from one school to another school. Nutty. So that's sort of like like, oh wait, we could just use his school uniform for our show. Simply done. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, it was sort of weird because we saw in a few of the trailers, he had like his Hopper 1. I don't know if you guys saw that little grasshopper that he was talking to.
Yeah.
But in the send off, Hopper 1's in the card.
That is interesting.
I was like,
That
hang on.
interesting.
Like, you showed this cute, very adorable, and possibly buyable. It's going to be happening.
Oh, definitely buyable. There's already the toy of it is already revealed.
My god. But you show us off this really cute design for a thing, and then it's like, oh, let's do a handoff. No, we don't want to bring the toy into it. We don't want to break it. Let's just do it with a card. I'm like, really? Like, seriously? Your literal gimmick of the whole fucking show is you have a little grasshopper friend. Like, serious? Like, you couldn't have just gone, we'll just use it for one episode. It's fine. No, we're just going to use the paper 3D card. I'm like, come on. And then the bit where it flicks him in the head was kind of like, okay, that was a little weird. Like, someone was saying to me that's sort of like what Sasuke and his brother did. You know how his brother always flicks his head?
Oh, yeah.
Itachi. That. I was like, wait, was that a nod to Naruto? I'm like, hang on a minute. Like, wow, okay, well, we're getting straight into that. I'm like, okay, cool. But he was so, like, just seeing him run past Geats, I was like, wow, you are so much younger. That is crazy.
Well, the one thing about Geats part of things, we now know that in the final episode of Geats that he is now a deity, so he technically Gotchard cannot see him, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we obviously
didn't. So the handoff wouldn't technically happen, because how are they going to do an actual handoff if Gotchard cannot see Geats? That might have been the whole reason why the ending of Geats or the handoff kind of actually happened. Well,
actually, that's a fair point, because Geats is now a deity, so obviously, unless you're... Well, see, that's the thing, we don't know. Because you don't really... You can't really sort of tell in that episode, because Gotchard was sort of more focused on Hopper 1. Because you can
catching Hopper 1, yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he runs past Geats, and the next, Geats says, "Oh, you'll find happiness too." To me, that was kind of an interesting sort of thing to do with, like, how he says, "Oh, you'll find happiness too," and I was like, so wait, now Geats has disappeared, or is his thing, and then it goes straight into this, because that's the thing. Like, they, for the longest time, they always had Kamen Riders were in their own worlds, in a sense, but in the last few Reiwa ones, it's like they all are in the same one, and we know that's a fact.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we know that's a fact now with Revice and Geats, because there's been a few things where it's actually demonstrated, like during Geats' series, they do go past Revice's things, they go past a few of the other, and it's like, wow, you actually reference all these different things, but they're not made to the scene. And then we see the, the Revice Geats crossover movie. They're literally, like, there's no, like, oh, portal, there's no nothing. It's like, oh, running past here, and then boom, they just see each other. So we know the Reiwa era riders are all sort of in a similar world, so once one dies off, the other one sort of takes over. Whereas this one with Gotchard, I don't know if it's me, but it looks like he goes underground for a couple of the episodes. It looks like the
secret chemistry school is under the school, I believe. So
yeah, so I remember hearing about that as well. Those were rumors, but I was completely concerned about that at first, because like underground school, how are they gonna do that, Kamen Rider? I've never heard of any of the shows doing like that kind of stuff.
Well, obviously,
I mean, we have space station on the moon with the Forza.
Oh yeah, that's a separate thing. That's Forza, but
is it though? Is it? It's Forza. Like it's space thing. It would kind of make sense. They have. Well, no, actually, no. I say that out loud. Yeah, fair point. How the fuck do they do that?
Sorry, kid, come on.
Well, it's like, okay, but how do they get there? And it's like, wait, there's no way they take a wrong. Oh no, we just use one of these little space age buttons. We press it and it takes us to it. Like, what? But okay, that's not how that works. But we'll take that scenario. Yeah, fair. But now there's also, they were saying with the secret society school with chemistry and all that. From what I've seen, now I don't know. You guys can say yay or nay to this idea as well. So the school is about chemistry, right? Why is it that we've got? So from what we saw of the trailer, it looks like everyone other than the main protagonist understands chemistry, but for some odd reason, our protagonist does not. So from what again, this is major spitballing here. I feel like the reason why he got the driver is obviously people, a teacher or something must have scouted him, noticed that he didn't have obviously the abilities to do the alchemy. So that's why he got the driver. But again, I honestly don't know. What are your thoughts on why that is? Because we noticed like there's 2 or 3 other people in there. I have a very funny feeling one of them is definitely secondary, and there's clearly going to be a thirdary, potentially a female again as a thirdary, which will be fucking sweet, I think. What do you guys think? What are your views on that?
I have no idea, honestly.
Really? Okay.
To be honest, same on my end. To be flat honest, I'm just hoping that if since the first episode is really close to airing, since it airs in Japan on the 3rd for them, which is
this
Sunday. I'm
Sunday.
pretty sure.
This Sunday.
Yeah.
So by the time of this recording, it would have already passed, just so anyone's aware. By the time this goes out, this will be already out. We know that, so this is just our views prior to it being released, just so you're all aware.
But it is going to bother me a bit if the secondary and thirdary writers aren't going to be either male or female. Who is going to be the roles? And since we don't know yet, and since all this is just now starting. So
true, but you sort of see in the trailers, in the most recent trailer, you already get to see like 2 or 3 people that are around the Kamen Rider Gotchard. There's a girl there who's Miss Know-It-All, kind of sort of reminds me of Hermione Granger, and everyone keeps saying he's the villain. I have a feeling he's not the villain. I feel like he's the secondary. Just by the way he looks and the way he's acting, to me that reminds me of Geats. Not Geats. Gates from Geo. Because remember, Gates hated Geo at the start of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a point.
So, then just tolerates. Well, then
eventually, no, I don't think he tolerates. I think he starts as the season goes on with Geo.
He does warm up. He does warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like this protagonist that we have now is, and you can clearly see that he's a bit of a goofball. He's a bit of a
what?
Yeah. and you see that in the person that's at the top of the stars is, oh, here we go. What did he say? It was something about is this another joke or something? And then he jumps down, walks past a girl, and as he's just walked past the girl, he transforms into whoever that is. To my knowledge, I feel like he's going to be the secondary. He's like, oh, it should have been me. I should have been Gotchard, but obviously he got picked with whatever he's got. That's why he kind of hates Gotchard in a sense.
You're talking about Valvard.
Is that his name, Valvard? Velvet?
Valvard, I believe, yeah.
Velarad. I'm looking at
Valrad.
the Wikipedia now because it's so weird. But I know who you're talking. I'm seeing who you're talking about. I've seen, like I said, I don't know. We don't know a lot yet.
No, exactly, and that's it. We're going by what we've seen. So by the time the first episode comes out, we'll obviously get our answers. But again, this is just our view prior to the series, because again, I'm assuming the series, and this is another thing that I'm gonna ask as well. But that'll be down the track. But I just want our first impressions from what we've seen, because obviously they've done, like I said, they've done the handover. There's been talks about it. We've seen all the stuff that is coming out. That's sort of what I want to sort of focus on at the moment. But yeah, so I feel what was it, Volard? You said his name was
Valvarad.
Valrad. Wow, that is a name and a half.
No, Valvarad.
Velvarad.
I'm just gonna call him Val. I'll just call him Val. So Val. So Val to me just seems like he. I'm sorry, but he does fit the Gates style. He's very like against it, but he's like, I'll tolerate it, and then moves on. And then the girl, I feel she will be a third Kamen Rider, because she's very knowledgeable. She seems to know everything. And how many times do we see her and Gotchard together in the trailers? Like, she's with him pretty much most of the time. So I feel she will potentially become a rider. Again, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Again, this is just from what I've sort of gathered from that trailer. But yeah, what do you think? Is that a fair? Would you say that's a fair assumption?
I would say that, yeah, a fair assumption. At least for her being a potential writer, but at the very least, I think from what's been officially revealed, Valverde, I believe, thinks Kemi should be used as tools. I believe.
Yes, because his one is all seems to be more mechanic kind of style. Which will be the next point we were going to talk about. But yeah, he seems very mechanical. So yeah,
that is true. But when I first saw him, like through the rumors originally, and then the actual scans people were posting on the internet, he looked more of the evil writer at first. When I first saw him, that was my first legitimate impressions on him. But after a while, it's like he gives off, color-wise, mind you, gives off decayed. Like dark decay that we had in the past, because he's mostly evil. But that's just how I perceived him at first. But when the trailer came out for Gotchard, the first ever trailer when we saw, it just turned me just. The thought of him in general was confusing. Seeing these fan subs of it as well, that was the trailer, also got me confused. But yeah, this is gonna be something to say the least.
Yeah. Well, see, when we first saw him, everyone did make out as, oh, he's the villain. It's like, no, because we have the three girls, and we know that they're the main villains because you've literally been telling us they are the three villains.
Yeah, they are the overarching villains.
Yeah. So when I first saw the images at all, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he's an evil rider. Okay, yeah, I can deal with that. And then when I first saw the, which one was it? Was it last month? Yeah, last month's first initial like scans. And I saw it, I was like, huh. He's not an evil rider. I was like, okay, that's weird. He doesn't give off evil, right? He looks evil, but didn't. To me, it's just like, okay, well, wait. If he's not the villain, then I'm like, wait, is he the secondary? I'm like, oh god, it's a Geo all over again. I was like, that was the first thing that popped in my head. He's literally just like a badass Gates. But now that you say that, the evil decayed. Yeah, I can actually kind of see that. Yeah, you're right. Shit. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because that was my original first thought when I immediately saw his colors and his design. But that was originally just me. I didn't see anybody else talking about it originally when I was looking through Twitter. Mind you, Twitter is a place where I've seen all these from. But no one has ever said he looks like a...
It's either going to be Twitter, YouTube, or
True.
or the what do you call it? The what is that fucking? Oh my god, brain go brr. The forums, the
Tumblr?
the Kamen Rider
forums, yeah.
Kamen Rider forums and all that sort of stuff. Yes, we go to use these things sometimes, people. Don't be so shocked. Forums. They still exist.
I haven't been to forums in a long time. Been to any...
But that's why I was like, no one was talking about he looks like a dark... Like, he gave off Dark Gate vibes at first. I was like, it was only gave the vibes he gave me when I first saw his design, like I said already. But when the trailer came out, I was just like confused because he didn't act that way in a sense.
Yeah, well, he doesn't give off like your normal villain type things. He just gives off like a, oh yeah, I'm here kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, here, I'm this big, tough, broody, blah, 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 rider. And it's like, you're just a kitten. You just need a good petting. You'll be fine. Because he does. He seems like that sort of that typical broody, like, no one, I should have been made. It's literally that. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of a bit weird, aren't you, buddy?
But we did bring up three as we were talking about him. We did bring up 3 other characters. I'd like to talk about those 3 for a bit, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, so you want to talk to 3 sisters or 3 girls or whatever?
The 3 Dark Sisters, what they're called. Yes, primarily those 3.
So they are called the 3 Dark Sisters.
Yes.
I just fucking guessed that. I actually didn't realize that's what they were called.
Like, I'm not kidding. I'm like I said, I'm cheating because I haven't.
No.
I need to really.
You're not cheating.
Again.
No,
I'm not. Well, I say it's cheating, but I'm looking at references on the Kamen Rider just to remember what we're talking about in general, because my brain almost forgot everything.
Hey, I've got Twitter up as well, and I'm going through things as well as we talk. So I'm pulling things left, right, and center, and all that. So if anyone is curious, if you're listening to us, you can actually go and see some of this stuff. It is on Twitter. If you just type in Kamen Rider Gotchard, their YouTube channel has videos up there as well where they showcase obviously the trailers, shows off some of the weapons, the toys, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to check those out, all you got to do is just type in Kamen Rider Gotchard, and you will definitely see those as well. Just for a quick heads up for everyone else. Yes, continue.
But the Dark Sisters, as I'm looking at them right now, since we don't know any details on them, my first impressions were off, because when I first saw them in the trailer, the older looking one, I will have to pull an image with the 3 of us to see it all the time. But like the one on, if you're looking at the picture of the 3 of them together, the one on the right, her name is Kolotho. She gave off the elder sister vibes, but actually, it is not the case. The smaller looking one is the eldest, from what I'm seeing right now, which is really... Okay, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, again, I guess if you're using chemistry and all that sort of stuff, if you found the right, I guess in chemistry, if you do the right things, you can potentially, and that is, again, we know chemistry is not chemistry. Alchemy is a form of magic, but it's also a form of science as well, where it mixes the two. And again, if you do the right mix, you can obviously potentially find the fountain of youth in a sense, or you make a fountain of youth potion thing. I don't know how you want. How do you explain that? But yeah. I don't know how you would explain that in a way, but yeah, so that's interesting. So one of them is the Dark Sister, okay, or the youngest one.
All of them are the Dark Sisters.
So
but
I meant the younger one is the
oldest.
The oldest, yeah.
The eldest, yeah.
Which kind of makes
sense.
The
youngest one is the eldest, which is weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it though? Because if you think about it, really, like it's not really all that
It's
unheard
not.
of.
No, I think it's more of the weirdos on the internet more so than.
Well,
yeah, I got a point.
Again, what's new there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like we can sort of tell what's going on in a sense. We know that certain things are doing, because the whole point of the show is alchemy in this, like, and that's the thing, they get to sort of focus more on that aspect, sort of thing. So I don't know. I'm sort of I'm leaning towards it. I'm also not leaning towards it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Like, do you guys feel that they could be? Because obviously, like I said, we know, like you said, the youngest one there is technically the eldest. So in my mind, she would have been the one who's obviously, she's the one doing all the chemistry sort of stuff. She's obviously figured out how to do the Fountain of Youth, and that's why she is. And I have a feeling they'll probably play on this. I doubt it, but they could. Where she's like, "Oh, I was messing around with things, and I found the Fountain of Youth, and I went back to when I was a 12-year-old." But she still has a mind of as being the oldest. And I feel like that's kind of what it's going to come across. I don't know. What do you think? Is that kind of a fair statement to?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, agreed. To be fully honest.
Yeah, it's like it's a cool concept. It's just funny that they're using the way that it's going though. Like originally, I was like, oh, okay, well, have we got? I'm like, wait, are we not having monsters this time around? Is it actually just going to be people? And then all of a sudden you see Gotchard fighting when I'm like, never mind. That answered that question. But that's the thing, like, do we know, other than what we've seen, is there any other, like, information on them? Or we just know they are the three Dark Sisters?
We just know their names and then the three Dark Sisters. That's all we know, sadly. Like, they're... Like, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for, like I said before, I'm still looking at Wikipedia for Kamen Rider. They have no history shown. We only have, like, what they're based off of, but, like, the notes, like, the trivia from them, but that's about it. Nothing else has been shown or talked about or said, legitimacy. So we have to wait till the actual show airs to see what they're actually legitimately about.
Yeah, well, that kind
so that's going to be something fun, but who knows?
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's going to be different. Yeah, well, only time will tell once we actually see it, so.
Yeah.
But that does keep me concerned about what they're creating for the enemies for Gotchard, since they're not supposed to be from what I'm seeing, they're called something different than Chemies. Chemies are what Gotchard actually has on his end as allies. But for the villains, they're called amalgam, and it's hard to say. Like, it's spelled simple, but amalgams are what we're going to be seeing throughout the next episodes as we go on through Gotchard, as what they're going to be creating or something. So who knows?
Interesting. But so hang on. So basically, how do brain go burr? It's sort of, I don't know. It sort of sounds like they're sort of coming to an understanding of sort of like, this is how we want things to play out, and then it's sort of, to me, it just sounds like they're trying to work a way to get things to sort of work in their favor in a sense.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. I could be wrong here. But
well, technically we all could be wrong here, but we don't know.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah. It does sort of beg the question: is like where did this initial design? Because again, we definitely see Gotchard fighting
Mantis.
A Mantis, and then he beats it and then gets the card. So my question is, how do we know, like, and this we'll push on a little bit with the thing. Like, he's got the ability of, he obviously has to use 2 things that match. Have you guys looked into that at all, or do you guys just sort of whatever and move on?
I looked into it a little bit on my end, due to the fact I was interested in the whole combining thing, since we also mentioned before for the beginning part of the recording until we actually failed at it. We technically brought up the fact that decayed and build type of driver type of thing, because all like combining shit. I had suspected that the next few enemies are going to be related to each other somehow. Because the first one we see is technically, yes, mantas. But the next one is going to be, from what I'm reading on the wiki still, but don't mind me if I go over random shit at times. Skateboard, ants, poisonous mushrooms, and submarine. We haven't seen some of those yet through, like, legitimacy to the trailers yet. But we have seen them through the cards, through the toys, since they're now out now.
Yeah.
Which is weird why they're out a bit earlier than they're supposed to.
I think they've been sort of this is from talking to one of my sources, Tucker. I believe they do it because they feel like if they don't do it now, the problem is when the show goes, it's not going to be as easy to get the stuff in stores, and it's a way of building up the hype, if in a sense, to get people to go, oh, okay, hang on, there's a new Kamen Rider out, we got all, so they bring it all out now, so that way then kids can start getting like, oh, mummy, I want this, oh, mummy, I need it, and they sort of go from there. That's what I believe. Like, if they leave it any later, it sort of gets to a point where it's like, oh, hang on, is this what we need? Is this what we want? That sort of stuff. So I feel like they've done that. They've been doing that since 0-1. So it's not they have. Yeah, 0-1.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
Yes, they brought it out since 0-1. It was a way to sort of show that they can get
they can build up hype in a sense.
Yeah, to build up hype around it, because again, if you think about it, like, oh yeah, we can do this, and this, but at the same time, if they don't bring it out soon, no one's going to be interested. And by the time the show comes out, if they don't have products out on the floor, no one's going to know about the series. Again, other than obviously people waking up and watching it in the mornings. If they bring out the toy nearest to the end of the original one, they can start showing, okay, well, obviously the new one's coming out, so it means the older one's going to go on sale. They can sell those out a lot quicker at a cheaper price, and then start bringing in the new one. Because the thing is, I don't know if you, again, you guys obviously haven't been to Japan recently, but when I went, Kamen Rider takes up almost an entire fucking section at the store. And I'm not joking. It's huge.
I believe I've at least seen some videos on Twitter when Geats was releasing with a lot of stuff, especially with the demo driver as well.
Desire Dry, yeah.
Yeah.
To which the pin reading, for which there's a pin, for which it had a pin reading problem. The demo itself, Red Boost has decayed.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That was pretty
and
funny.
Mine. Yeah, I've been able to at least get a couple of the raised buckles from my high Desire driver as well, randomly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so at the very least, it was released one. I have no idea if they fixed the problem later on or not. Maybe, I don't know.
It's hard to sort of really tell because we just don't really know. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nor do we live there, so it's like, who knows? But back on the topic of Gotchard and his toys, to be fully blunt, I dislike the fact they're making the cards as if you're opening up a card pack, like from like
TCG booster packs.
Yeah. I love the idea. I think that the idea of doing it like that is a good change, because again, we've had literally everything so far. We've had boxes, we've had satchels, we've had all this, but we've never had like, because you think with Decade and Blades they do something similar. No, they didn't. But it's sort of like, it's very unique, and the biggest thing with it is it's not a usual thing. Like, it's legitimately not a usual thing. And I know, again, with my sources from Tucker and all this, it's not something he can sell quite frequently either. Because you know how, like, normally he can go to a store, he'll be able to pick up like all these different toys and then he can sell them on his website. But with this one, he really can't just go and buy like one or a few.
Yeah.
He has to literally he has to literally go and buy a entire box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I originally wasn't okay with Bandai doing that at first. But after a while, I was like, if they're going to with that approach on this whole card thing, it's going to be something that it's good for their own budget, like their own money increase in a sense. And also it's because it's more of a, what type of cards are they supposed to be? They're not paper cards.
No, they're the same sort that too.
The same sort of thing as the case, but they're like almost plastic like.
It's plastic.
I thought they were more.
Yeah, they're similar to the what's the card game? Oh my god, I can't even. The one
that died recently.
No. Okay, so maybe you guys don't know about it. There's, in Japan, they have a card game where you put them on machines and you do certain things. Hang on,
I know what you're talking about.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I know what you're. I think I know what you're talking about.
Gamba Rise.
That's
it,
right?
Yes, that's
Gamba Rise. Also was. Yeah.
So those.
But they also made a new version of it as well, from what I've seen.
Yeah, they had to, because they had to update it. So to my knowledge, they are a cardboard plastic one, so they're very flimsy, they're very thing, but they're not gonna not like say something like Decades rip and tear like Decades and or Blades ones,
and Ryuki.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ryuki. They're a little bit tougher, so you still need a fair bit of force to rip them. But to my knowledge, they're pretty standard. Like, you're not going to be able to go, you accidentally drop some water on it, it's not going to fray up or whatever. It's going to be fine. Okay. So they're slightly plasticky, so they'll survive, that sort of thing. And it kind of makes sense, because if you looked at the designs of them, they're
very good. I like Bill's Ride Kemi card, especially the parallel art. It's really good.
They
haven't seen. Go ahead.
No, you go. Finish what you're going to say.
I haven't seen all the Ride Kemi arts. I've only seen the ones that Bandai has officially shown. So I'm kind of curious to see all of them once someone makes a video on all of them.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I've seen the ones I've seen so far. I've seen the fan made ones that actually look pretty dope. But I've also seen what was the one that Bandai actually showed? Oh, it was 01 and Dano. I don't know why you got those.
That's the whole upper one and I forget what the liner one is called, but yeah.
It was a Den liner, to my knowledge.
Oh.
It's because that's what it's called. But the thing is, though, why those two?
Because Hopper 1 Steam Liner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now that makes more sense to me. I didn't think of that. I really didn't think of that, because I was sort of thinking they were going to do like Ichigo and then Dano, or Ichigo and what's the other one I was thinking that could have been? Ichigo or Decade, because Heisei and then Showa kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because remember,
True.
Geo was the end of Heisei, and then the start
Doing
of
Neo Heisei, but
well, technically
still.
he fell halfway. He's halfway Heisei,
Yeah, he's
halfway Reiwa.
Yeah, he's basically the gateway.
Which is similar to what DK was. DK was Showa leading into Heisei. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was sort of thought, oh, maybe if they put the two of those together would have made sense in a way, but I guess everyone's different, so.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, like, those look good. It's just, I don't know, like, I saw I don't know if you've seen the concept art that some people put out there. Ooh. Some of them were really...
I have.
There was like this Agito one was dope as shit. They had Exade's one, but it was his little mascot sort of jumping through a card with cards around him. Wizard's one was the dragon, just its head breathing fire. Then there was another one who was, I think it was not built. There was someone who looked like it had Godzilla on it. I'm trying to remember who the hell's that one was. That was that Ryuki, I think it was Ryuki. So I can't fully remember, but they were like those concept arts were really, really cool. And then obviously now we've seen 01 and Dano. My mind's like, oh, that's where you're going with this. Oh, okay. Well, I guess yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah. And then I saw the movie card for Geats.
Oh yeah,
and that one,
the Geats Oneness card.
Yeah, and it's got like him and then all the other riders in the background. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of dope. I know Tucker had a couple of them he was selling, but they sold really quick.
Oh, he did? Oh, dang.
Yeah, he was selling them because he had a few. Yeah, I think he is gonna. He said he is gonna try and get stock in of it again because of the what is it? The attachment for the driver where you put it in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of I was kind of hoping they would have done something different for like that sort of crossover. Like I was like, I get you're doing the card. I guess you're trying to add the two of them together, but at the same time, it's like, really? That's the attachment you're gonna give. That's the attachment you're giving us. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the one is right. Is well, yeah, not too impressive.
No, it's really not. They could have done something so much better. Like I absolutely love Geats Mark 9. I think that is an absolute beautiful
Mark 9 is great. I still want to get it. I haven't gotten to get it yet.
Same. It is hard to get. I've asked Tucker a few times if he can get me one, and he says, "Yeah, I've got it." I love how he tells me about it, and then when I go to look at it, it's like, Tucker, he's already got it. And he's like, oh. Like, yeah, if you're gonna tell me you're gonna put it up, maybe tell me before you hit the post button. He goes, yeah, I might have to do that next time. I'm like, yeah. He's done it to me. He's done it to me twice. He's literally posted it and then tells me, and by the time I get to it, it's gone. I'm like, Tucker! I said, dude, really? Why? I'm like, I want to get it. Why do you do this? Because he used to in the past, he used to wait until he tells me before he posted. But this time around, he's put it up before telling me. I'm like, Tucker, you got to tell me this prior to putting it up. Like, God damn it, dude. But again, Tucker's a sweet bean. So I'm like, all right, I'll let it slide this time. I'll let it slide. But it's just like. It was sort of like, I was sort of like, okay, so how is he going to use this? Because obviously we know his little, his rider ID changes color. And I was like, okay, so that's obviously from the effects from the card and all that. But the thing is though, like with, Gotchard, Gotchard didn't really get anything. Literally, he got the card, whereas Geats just gets a little driver attachment. I was like, oh, that's kind of, that makes kind of more sense. But then again, when you see the driver for Gotchard, it's like, yeah, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more, I think, on that part. But that's just me.
I know there's a Gotchard card that goes with the Geats Oneness card. Or
there is? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's been shown off.
It
At least within one of the commercials, I'm pretty sure.
I probably have seen it already because I watched a specific YouTuber on YouTube who did show a card like that off when using that specific 1S card. I forgot what I love, but it is basically still Gotchard. It's from what I've seen, it's just a Gotchard card. So
well, yeah, because I know. Well, they're saying that this, and this is another thing I was gonna like, because with the game they usually use rider cards, but this obviously now with Gotchard, they're gonna change it up because of the way of how the cards are structured. Actually, speaking of what, that just actually reminded me. Did you notice? So this is I've talked with Zarex about this. I've talked to a couple of people about this. Have you guys noticed the little energy bar at the bottom of each of Gotchard's cards?
Yeah, I think that's more of a level now, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I want. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about the cards. So there's a theory going around, and this is one I also put together. Is, have you noticed? So at first I thought the same thing. Oh, they're a level card. But the other thing is, I also noticed that there was 10 of them. Like there's 10 in total, right? Did you notice on Gotchard's one, Hopper 1 had 1, whereas the Steamliner had 9?
Yeah, they all add up to 10. Yeah, I noticed that.
So
I didn't though.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. If you have a look at the cards, if you go and have a look at those cards, you'll see on the bottom of there's like it's like 10 little arrows, I guess, or slits or whatever,
arrow dashes or whatever.
Yeah, and to my thinking was, it seems very odd that you would do this on certain cards, because it had some that were like, some had 5, some had 6, some had 1, some had 2, and I was like, wow, these if these are the power levels, these are kind of, some of these seem weird and very weak. But then I started putting sort of 2 and 2 together, and I was like, wait, maybe that's how you know what will make a proper form. Because we notice with Hopper 1 and Steamliner, it goes from 1 and 9. You put them together, that's 10, and that gives us, of course, Hopper. You get Gotchard. And I noticed when he captured the Mantis had 5, and we know that he gets the form where he uses that. So I'm curious to know if that other form had another 5. Now, I haven't seen any other of the cards yet. I've only seen snippets here and there. But do you think maybe that's an indication of how you know what will make, like, I guess in a sense, a perfect form?
That's one of the indicators, yeah. There's also a little hint icon on the bottom of the card, or that shows the type the other Kemi is for the card.
Wait, does it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I don't think the official website has it, but definitely on the official cards, yeah, there's a little hint icon of what the other Kemi's type is.
Huh. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just noticed because I'm watching a video by one YouTuber I was trying to get at earlier. Yeah, I definitely see that. Holy heck.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we learn every day. Holy shit.
Again, that's why we're having this podcast, to talk about it. So
True.
that is very interesting though. Like, I wouldn't have really thought about that until
They might not do it in the show though, because it's because they're still at toys.
Yeah, they're not doing it in the show.
No, because I think
that's just for the toys itself.
Yeah. They're probably doing that just to it's easier for people to sort of get like, oh, what card do I need? What do I need to find and all that? Whereas the show, they're going to be, because I know we've technically seen what the cards look like in the show. There's no notes, there's no information on the card. It's just an image and then the little level bar, and that's it.
And the
at the bottom of the card, yeah.
My brain. And the barcode's on the sides as well.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the generic barcode it'll use.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems pretty interesting to go if you go by that sort of logic, right? So you would think, oh yeah, they're going to do this, this, this. So I'm kind of curious on how it's all going to go together. Like, because that's the thing. Like, I feel like they'll obviously they're going to explain everything. We know that much. Like how everything works, how the Kemi cards work, and all that. I still feel like they're going to do something with like they'll say like, oh yeah, if you find these two, you'll know that they'll match if you do it this way and stuff like that. Again, I don't know. Again, we'll wait and see until the show comes out, but I have a sinking suspicion either it's going to do with the gauges or it's going to come to, because the thing is, I have a feeling we're not going to know. I don't know about the face plate on the back. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Do you think that's a coincidence? Like, I feel like for the toy, they're doing that for a reason, but the show, I don't know, because it just feels odd. Like he's not going to put in like a secondary, like, so we know he puts Hopper 1, we know he puts Steam on it, but what happens if he wants to use a half a form of something else? Is he gonna leave? Or is he gonna? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure nothing's gonna happen because obviously, unlike build and other writers that have mix and match, the forms don't look like they can mix and match at all. Oh, they're not half and half or anything. They're just a complete suit.
Yeah, true, but we've seen Build put two incompatible ones together, and he still gets a form.
Yeah, but the suits are also half and half as well, so it really mixes. So it really works with mixing and matching, even if they're not perfect matches. Whereas Gotchard doesn't really have that aesthetic in his suit.
So do you think he'll just stick to the one base form kind of thing?
At the very least, I think it can only work with perfect matches. I don't think you can mix and match to get different forms like that.
I would think he should be able to. Like, it seems odd that you're not going to give him, because you've got some cards, or not every single one of them is going to be like, oh, a perfect match. Because you can sort of see that, like, because someone, I don't know his name. I have to re-watch my my YouTube channel that I have that does this, because there's an official Bandai one that shows all the different things that come out, TV shows and toys and all that. And there was one on one of the episodes, one of the girls had asked the guy to say, hey, can you put in this thing? And it doesn't do the jingle. And I was like, okay, so we don't get the jingle, but my thinking is, do we still get the form? Like, we don't fully know exactly like how this works yet.
True.
But
we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I do still believe like what you said though. Like, I don't think we're gonna get like a perfect match, but at the same time, I feel like there'll be something that sort of tells us like what's gonna happen, because I feel like he's not gonna always have like the perfect form. I just don't feel that's going to be a thing, in a sense.
Let's wait and see on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also I'm curious to see like if we're going to get whether my prediction of the gauges are going to do anything or not. Because that's the thing, I don't know. Like, my biggest thing is, and that's what I was saying to Zarex, is like, I feel like those gauges are going to indicate like what his next power and all that is. Because we know we get two. We've got his base form, and then there's, I think it was like spicy ramen or something, like a samurai style one.
Paraskibbles.
That one. That is such a weird name.
I call him Samurai Skater.
Samurai. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I can see that. What about you, Hunter? Have you seen it, or?
Sadly, I have no comments on that, to be flat out freaking on it.
Oh, so you have seen it then?
I have not seen it then, yeah. I'm sorry, I have no fucking comments.
No comment.
Basically, yeah. No, I wish I could see a lot of the stuff, but I haven't. As well, I haven't decided to stay away from the stuff for Gotchard and just to wait till the actual official episodes are
Oh, okay.
out.
Okay. So
So
you haven't
I'm
actually.
just
But was
yeah.
it? But in one of the trailers, it shows the form.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Oh, I might not seen it then.
And there's also been a thing with in one of the scans, it actually shows these two forms, because I feel like the two forms are going to, but his default form and that form are going to be within the first episode, to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but my guessing is that's going to be in the first episode.
I think that's likely, yeah.
Or at least
Yeah.
first or second one, anyway. Because we see
within the first few.
Yeah. Well, it would definitely be in the first few. It probably won't be in the first one. I think the first one will be just the initial, like, hey, this is Kamen Rider Gotchard, and then we get an introduction of, like, what he is and who he is, how he becomes Gotchard and all that sort of stuff. Because they usually do that. The first episode is usually the introduction episode, and then it's usually the second one is when we start getting, like, second form and all this sort of stuff. But, yeah. All right, well, are you guys happy with that for now? And we can move on to the next part of Gotchard? Because I do want to have a touch base on, like, supposedly cameos. There's been rumors of certain cameos of people appearing in there. Especially a certain someone from a previous Kamen Rider show.
Yeah.
Another card user.
Yeah.
So, what are your views on hearing Decade or Daniel Decade making an appearance?
Honore Decade!
I was kind of funny. I was like, oh, at least if he came back, I'm gonna giggle like so much.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
Nice.
They said that there was going to be, there's definitely going to be a previous rider or someone from a previous rider show appearing in the show, but we don't know on what, like, terms. We don't know the condition. Like, we don't really know yet. That's why we're sort of waiting to see. What are you guys expecting? What are you guys sort of thinking? Like,
so back when the rumors started about who the returning rider is going to be, I've heard so many different things. Like, Decay is going to come back, his actor is going to come back, like, because Decay is going to be someone in this, because the card theme motif. But I also thought Blade or Ryuki, because the card motif from them as well. If that's the case, why don't they bring them back as cameos?
See, I don't see Ryuki so much, because Ryuki, yes, he used cards, but not like what Decade and Blade sort of did. Their one was very, very limited.
Yeah, and also because since we know recently Ryuki has appeared in a couple of things.
Exactly.
So I don't technically see him right at all. But that was my original thought when the rumors were spreading about Decade's actor returning back to the show. But it did get me confused as well. Like, why would they bring back Decade? It's been a while since we've seen him, yes. But isn't the actor doing his own show as well as all this?
Well, but that's the thing. Like, when I heard
at the very least, the actor is. I think he's trolling right now of making people think he might be in it or not.
Yeah, because the rumors. Yeah,
this is him. Like, he does that sort of thing. He's known as that sort of a trickster anyway. But when I heard the rumors were, it wasn't Decade, it was Nobunarok, or the dude that says "Darn you, Decade." That was Murray, and he was coming back as a chemistry teacher, which was like, oh, okay. And it's like, that's kind of cool. I knew Decade wouldn't, because he is currently doing his live action, very weird TV show or YouTube show. I've watched 3 episodes of that, and I still don't fully understand the frick is going on with it. I get it's a mobile game, Nunny the fuck. I've got no words for that. That to me is just like, what? But you, brain go burr. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna watch anymore.
I've seen none of it, so I have no words of it either.
Same here. Voice of the transformations. That's all I've seen on my head.
You can see it's on his. If you go to his YouTube channel, it's on there. So
yeah,
but it's very weird. But then again, he's been known for stuff like that all the time. But yeah, so I've heard he's going to be making an appearance. I've also heard that there is another one that was rumored to come back, and they're coming back as a teacher as well. And that was who was that one that they said who was the rumored? Yeah, DK. There was one more. I can't try who they said it was.
Maybe a wizard. I can see wizards carry on. Some wizards coming back because he uses magic.
But they
and alchemy.
But they can't bring him back.
Well, no, flip. I meant someone from Wizard in general.
Well, yeah, they could probably do Beast, because Beast hasn't really had much of an appearance once. He only showed up in Geo to give Geo, obviously...
To give Gates.
Oh, sorry, give Gates.
Wizard.
Yeah, Wizard. Which actually, that'd be actually kind of good.
If he returns back, that'd be something, but what would his role technically be if they did bring him back?
Well, technically, he did say he was a roaming
character.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it could be. So I'm not too sure. Blade, anyone from Blade series would make a good appearance in there. You would think so for what it is, but yeah, that's what I'm just like, I'm curious to see who they decide to bring. I'm really, if they bring Nobunaga in there again with, I hope there's going to be this randomest thing where out of nowhere, damn you.
Yeah,
he'll do his signature and then realize
that would be great.
But he just pops in and he's about damn you. Wait.
Oh wait.
No decay. However, there is I've noticed in the lineup they actually showed some of the actors. These actors are also returning Tokusatsu actors. There is a teacher in here that is a previous Super Sentai, and there is a previous Ultraman actor coming back. And I was like, ooh. I'm like, I wonder who these are. Supposedly they are more recent, so I'm kind of curious of who it is, because I know there's been, obviously, I think we're in the third or fourth installment of the next Ultraman, and obviously with the current King Orjan soon to be ending. I think King Orjan's going to be ending fairly soon.
Yeah, it is very soon. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting either way. Like I'm really, because they did say they wanted to bring back like previous previous things into the show. But yeah, I'm not too sure. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. That does bring up a single question in my brain that I can answer myself, but for a different time. Yeah, I can still say it here, since it's still for Gotchard. Sisper and Reiwa, as this current time for writers. A character from each one of the Reiwa writers, all the way up to Gates. I can see, primarily from Gates' side of things, who was Gates' sponsor again?
Zin.
Zin.
Yeah, I can, since now that Gates is technically quote-unquote a deity, I can probably see Zin somehow being a part of Gotchard in some fashion. But that's just me, though. And I do wonder...
That would be kind of cool to see him, like, he's just there. Because we do see him in the final episode, like he's walking around and everything. So it's not a far off idea. The only thing is, though, would he still be then considered a rider, or would he just be counted as now a civilian? Because the thing is, though, it would be odd to bring a rider from, well, again, that's not unheard of, but bringing a rider who is from the future, who then went to this time, and then he's gone to the next I don't know, I feel like that's sort of like a big thing like that, because wouldn't that sort of breach a lot of the... It would, no, I wouldn't say breach, what's the word? It would not combined. Oh my god, I can't think of the fucking word. Wouldn't it be a continuance from Geats then? Because you're bringing in a writer from his show, it would make out that the lore for Geats is still connected to Gotchard. Because that's the thing, we don't fully know like the extent of Gotchard yet, and that's one of the biggest things. We're trying to find out whether Gotchard is going to be like in a different time and place, or is it actually going to continuance from Geats' world? Because that's the thing, they usually don't show the previous writer unless it's, you know, for some unknown reason or a movie or whatever the case may be, kind of thing.
Yeah. Then that does raise other questions, though, that I will probably talk about on my side of things elsewhere. But in general, all we've been talking about, like returning appearances, I can technically see a few more, but I'll talk about them more on my, like I said, on my end elsewhere, not here, not on the podcast, since that's my theories. I won't bring them up here.
No, but that's fine. That's the whole point of the podcast, is we want to talk about the theories. We want to talk about our own things, because that's the whole thing. Like, I'm happy to talk about rumors, thoughts, process, and all that, because that's the thing. And again, it gives more into the whole, like, what do we see? How is it played? Because again, I've got like, there's plenty of things racking around in my head that I want to know a few more questions about. I want to ask the right things, but again, most of it will probably be answered during the first episode. So for now, like I said, the whole point of this is, I want what you have, what your thoughts, what are your things coming from what we've seen and where you want it to go. Again, things obviously will change once the first episode does launch on Sunday. I just want to get an overview, that's all, kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, so again, any and all theories you have, throw them in, might as well. Because yeah, we've only been just going for an hour. Like, we can go for a little bit longer. I don't mind.
If we're still on topic of Reiwa in general, since Reiwa writers are still a thing, if they do bring back some more writers from Reiwa, for example, I would like to see Thouser and a couple of others from Thouser from 01.
Thouser's kind of Thouser's
Yeah,
already. Thouser's had his line, like he had his own. Pardon me. He's had his own movie. He had a V cinema. He's gotten a power up. He also became Arc, and then he had a lovely little fisticuff fight with Kamen Rider Gem.
What's that?
That's
wasn't that Outsiders though?
Was that what?
Wasn't that a part of Outsiders though, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He became Arc and technically gave Dan Kuroto his power up. Just
yeah.
Bowser keeps getting he gets enemies power ups, or at the very least.
But it still raises the questions about other writers, since we're still on that topic. Other writers appearing in Kamen Rider. I still like to see a few writers from other, like, for example, as well. What was the pink writer from Saber? I forgot his name.
Pink Rider from Saber? Oh,
does he have the sword gun?
Yeah, the sword gun.
The Smith guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name. Which reminds me, I do need to continue Saber.
Same here, but I can see him and from Saber coming in because his whole Smith thing. But other writers, so far that's the two I got for now.
I can kind
The
of
other
see.
writers,
I could see him. Yeah, that's definitely. He would definitely make an interesting appearance if he came into it. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I definitely don't think Thouser will. Thouser's had like 3 or 4 appearances after the show.
that
So
was
I
just
think
Thouser
yeah.
had.
I only suggested him because
no, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
I only suggested him because of what he does in the future appearances he's got. But not like legitimately in 01. But the future appearances he's gotten from like outsiders.
Yeah,
which is something I will say that now. But
I still
in
haven't watched
general,
all of
his
those.
appearance in Outsiders was something that made me want to see him in Gotchard. Because since we know, quote unquote, everyone's been thinking this, and I'm hoping it is correct in like future installments that they actually show this somehow. Since we talked about earlier about the worlds being connected somehow for all the Rewas, I would definitely like to see some Rewa writers from like past seasons. Like for example, like I said already, Saucer and I always forget the pink writer's name from Saber, but trust me, you know what I'm talking about by saying
I do. Don't worry.
Yeah, I would like to see those two in it flood out. But everyone like Revice and well, I already mentioned the Gates side of things. Revice, that's one that I kind of think of my own terms, like outside of this. Because if I ever think about any of the Revice writers, I can see personally, I can see what was his Juga. I see Juga, and I also see Aguilera. But Aguilera technically had her own special quote unquote with the female writers.
Yes, correct.
So I don't see her in full, but I primarily see Juga from Revice somehow appearing in this because but sadly he had an appearance in Outsiders, but not as his writer form. But that's just Outsiders, so we don't know if he does come into the show or not. So those are the 3 writers I can see as of right now on my personal side. How I see things that might happen if they ever bring back future writers. Oh my god, English!
I'd love to see like Shotaro make an appearance. I think that'd be cool to see again, but I don't think we're gonna get any more. Double Forza would be a really good. Hilarious. He'd be a very hilarious fact to it all.
It'd be hilarious as fuck.
Yeah, I'm hearing that people on Twitter that people were hoping and that Forza would make an appearance.
Who else?
Since he's a teacher now.
Yeah, well that's the other thing, yeah. So
yeah, true.
What else? The other one fuck, who's the other one I overheard someone saying they thought would be really cool to see? Well, obviously you said Wizard, so yeah, definitely someone from Wizard would be cool. Or if it wouldn't be nice if we had Kamen Rider Wizard come back, but I think after all the legality stuff and all that, it might be a little hard.
You can see Beast coming back, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So.
Who else?
How about Gaim? Gaim season.
I think Gaim's kind of done. Like they've kind of done everything they needed with him. Because remember, Gaim's character is now.
No, not the character. I mean, like the writer from his season though. He would fit technically in Gotchard's season in general.
The Michi won't. Michi's got a new movie he's working on. I know that for a fact. The only other one that could come back would be his brother.
Oh, Zangetsu, yeah. Was it Zangetsu's name?
I think his name was Zangetsu.
His real name?
Yeah, I think that was his name. I'm not 100% sure. I know he had his movie where he got his power up, his final form. Not a big fan of that one, but anyway, moving right along. Who else would I like to see? I'd love to see someone from Geo make an appearance, because remember, Geo can travel through time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Geo, so either Waltz or Gates himself would be cool. Like, I'd love to see Gates again.
There it is.
What is it? Who else? Really about all I can think of. Like, there's a couple others I'd like to see, like another Ghost one or Spectre. Hell, even Necrom would be freaking awesome.
Necrom, I can definitely see. Yeah, I can see
Ooh,
more
Necrom.
Necrom than Spectre, since we've already had a few things done with Spectre and his family,
Sister.
quote
Yeah,
unquote.
yeah.
Yeah, so I can see Nekudum a bit more than Spectre this time around, due to the fact that Spectre has literal transformation device looks like a science thing. I forget what it's called.
He was a science experiment, and he's not the real thing or whatever. That form, like, it looks cool. I like the look of it, but the way they went about it, like, I feel like they could have gone a little bit better, because we know what his father looks like, and then we find this dude who turns around and says, "No, I'm your father." It's like,
no, ain't the fuck.
It's like, hang on, I was like, wait, hang on, that makes no sense, but we know who his father is. And then it's like, no, I am your father. It's like, no.
Yeah, okay then.
He's like a, no, I'm not gonna, he just does not seem like a father, that his father. He doesn't look anything like him. There's no real connection to it. It's like, oh, I've been in jail for all this year. It's like, but no, he wasn't. We knew in this TV series he just disappeared. There was no understanding of where he went. If he were in jail, then yeah, we get that. But there was no understanding of you were in jail. So yeah. Other than that, like, I can't really think of anyone else that would really any other than maybe Drive or Chaser. Chaser would be kind of cool to see again, because we haven't had much from him.
Chase.
And his actors said, like, he if they ever wanted him to come back, he would come back.
True.
So.
What about you, Baku? Who do you like to see return in general for Gotchard?
Yeah. Well, the only thing in mind was Forza, and Darken already mentioned Forza. But yeah, I don't know really.
Because it's got to be a particular, like, it's got to have some sort of like connection to, like, the aspects. I feel like if they're going to bring in a returning writer, they got to bring him back for, like, oh, he's a teacher, or he's a alchemist, or he's got some sort of connection like that kind of thing.
Yeah. What else could work?
There's not really any other. Oh, actually, no. Wait, didn't not Agitor? What was it? No, who was it? Agitor or Cougar? Wasn't one of them a teacher at the end of the series? Or was that Kabuto? It was no. Kabuto's actor for Guitar. He became an officer. That's right. I remember now. He became an officer.
Yeah.
That'd actually be kind of cool to see him. Because I know Kabuto won't be coming back because reasons. But I know the actor for Guitar, he became, in his own, because we see that in Geo, he became a police officer.
And also, does he become the new Kabuto though, or does he stay Guitar?
No, he's still Guitar. He got to use.
He used the Kabuto sector in Zeo.
Zeo, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was a lone power or whatever you call it. The Kabuto thing realized he was this, and this, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. We'll give it to you for this one time. Because he sort of he knew Capital, so he knows how to do his abilities. He knows all things because he's used to it. So for him,
Sure.
it wouldn't have been anything different, kind of thing. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting either way.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on the theme? So obviously they went with alchemy for this one. What are your thoughts on that? Because we've had space, we've had time, we've had AI. That one, 01's one was AI. What are your
Sabers was just stories, but
was the stories? But what about like the theme? The theme of it. To me, I don't know the theme. Other than it just seems like because we knew Wizard was like about hope, and then Geo 01 was hope. Saber was not redemption. It was finding a place to belong. I think it was what Saber's one was, and then Revice was obviously family. Geats was what was Geats? Geats was like,
wasn't it like happiness in a sense?
I think so.
Because he, like you found at the very end of games, he mentions the word happiness a lot. So like,
So he would probably be maybe happiness for him. Because I'm using the ones that I knew, like definitely knew the newer one, right? With the Reiwa ones, it's kind of hard to work out what. So I definitely knew. We knew 01 was definitely AI. Like what could the future of AI be? So we knew that one. Saber, I'm not too sure on. Revice is obviously family. Like family stick together through thick and thin. That was definite.
Definitely.
I'm just trying to think. Who was after Saber? Saber was Revice, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. It was Steel, Saber, Revice, Gates, and then it's now Gotchard.
So what are we thinking is going to be for him?
Since we know this theme is, we know that everything is surrounding alchemy this time around. It's gonna be hard to say.
Yeah, obviously it is, but just a thought kind of thing. Like, what would you think it would be?
To me, it's basically the side of alchemy and what it can do and all that kind of stuff. But basically, it's still alchemy in general. Since we know the whole theme is alchemy, like the whole general aspect, I want to see something like alchemy type of stuff in general for the actual theming. But just like I said, who knows? So
it'll be interesting either way. Like that's the thing. We just
it's
still yeah, go for it.
Since Valve believes chemies to be tools, I think he would be about maybe friendship. So like forging bonds on such.
Yeah, I could probably say that.
Same here, actually.
Yeah, I could say that. I definitely could say that. Definitely makes sense if you think about it, because he definitely doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't look like he's like forcing the cards to do anything. So
yeah.
We could definitely say that. Yeah, I would definitely say that for sure.
Yeah, 100% agreed. To be honest.
It definitely has, I think, and again, like you said, we don't fully understand yet what we're going to be expecting for the series. So
yeah.
Like, there's obviously going to be things where we're like, oh, it'll be this, oh, it'll be that, but at least, like, you can't really sort of pinpoint it in a sense.
So, yeah, since it's still so early into the series.
Well, again, time will tell, I guess, and then we'll sort of...
Time will tell, yeah.
All right. So with that being said, what else would you guys like to discuss? Like, I pretty much that's pretty much the bear on my sort of point of things. Have you guys got any like thoughts you want to discuss about him as well? Like, I again, like I said, from what I've seen of him, he does look very unique. Not a big fan. Again, I'm not a fan of the belt. We can have a talk about the driver if you'd like. And oh no, we really sort of did that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fresh out of other ideas. Anything else you guys wanted to sort of discuss?
I'm terrible at coming up with stuff on the spot.
Yeah, same. Sadly, that's all I've got. Everything we talked about already so far is basically all I've got. Even though I did mention to you before when we all did all this in general, like our talk, I was gonna be a bit strict on this. I actually wasn't from what I felt like. Holy hell! But in general, Gotchard is going to be something we have to be ready for.
Oh,
so yeah.
He definitely he's definitely going to be a different sort of rider. Like I've sort of noticed from the captions and stuff of the things we've seen, he's a very, when he's not in the suit, he's very klutzy and clumsy and all that. But once he gets in Gotcha, he seems very positive. He's like uplifting. Even his thing where he does the slap hand and puts his arm up. Like it shows like he has like two sides of him, which is also something I noticed as well. Like he's not confident enough and all this. He's clumsy. He forgets things, and then all of a sudden he puts on the driver. He transforms, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Whoa, you're a completely different person." It's like he
kind of like furries.
Kind of like furries, yeah.
Kind of like furries, yeah.
But yeah, like that's the thing. Like I sort of noticed that there was different connections to him and different things like that. But it was one of those things where you don't fully understand it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But as far as like the driver and all that goes, like this is going to be another year, like I said, that I'm probably not going to get the driver myself.
Yeah.
I just feel it's too simple. Like I like a little bit of complexity. It doesn't need to be like full on, oh my god, yeah, 100% this, but it'd be like I kind of want some aspect of like, oh, I want it to be difficult. Like I definitely preferred, like I definitely like Decade's one. I definitely liked Blade's ones, and those ones were pretty simple in their own rights. But this, to me, it just, there's nothing to it. Like there's really not a lot kind of thing. Am I wrong, would you say? Like it just seems
wrong. No.
It's very lackluster. Like to me, it just doesn't have like a it doesn't have something
pizzazz.
Pizzazz. It doesn't hook me in. It's like, yeah, I can pretty much do that with like a normal deck of cards in a sense. It's like it just doesn't really sort of show like it has the potential of being something more. Because with someone, I don't know who it was, someone compared the driver to a Switch. And it was
I saw that, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, oh, you were actually just as big, if not bigger than us.
So when I saw that, by the way, what you're talking about right now, Darken, I saw someone make fun of that. Like, oh my god!
Someone put a switch on as a driver.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, what?
I could see someone making fan art or like an animation where
they put it was already made. I was like, yeah, during that meme whole time I was saying a cool meme, someone already drew that I think the day of or the day after. I had to like retweet that very fucking fast, but it was funny as fuck.
Let me guess, you put the Nintendo game inside something, and that's
you literally just put the Switch in the dock. It's your belt. Put the Switch in the dock, and
What? Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
But it's sort of that's kind of what it is, really. If you think about it, like it's not like you can't not say that it's not like that because it's huge. But the one thing I did notice with it, and they were showing it off as well, is that it looks like it definitely has the aspects of build because it's got a thing on the top of the driver.
Yeah, a slot, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that thing, yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to be and what's the attachment. Because I know some people are like, oh, it'll be similar to like
Hazard,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's like, could you
I
see?
haven't heard that about as well.
Could you see Hazard being on that though? That would be fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Gotcha.
Since that does give me those questions that I want to ask another time, another day, another time. Like when that stuff kind of gets announced and shit.
Well, you can do it now. Like I said, we got time.
Well, still, I also kind of can't have no time left. I have to go to bed soon, so we can hurry about this. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Well, again, I was hoping to try and push for at least 2 hours. That was sort of where I was sort of hoping to go with this, and then
you can forgive me on that, Darken.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Well, if you want to call, we can call it here. That's fine. That's all right. This will be a short one this time around. That's fine. So the last thing on just from what you've seen on it right now, from what we've talked about, all the discussions overall, what are you expecting? Like, what are you expecting from the show? Like overall, I think to end this episode, I think that's probably going to be a good thing to end it on because it is a thing we don't know. Like we honestly don't know what to expect from the show. I get that we haven't seen it yet. By the time this comes out, the show will be out, and a lot of the things we've said may have been answered. Who knows? But for now, I'm just like overall, what are you expecting from the show? Like, as I said, I'm upset with the driver. Overall concept of him, I absolutely love. But as far as the series, that's the question. So, yeah, what do you guys think? What are you expecting from the show? We'll get that as a finishing thought.
I have absolutely no idea. I haven't really thought about that.
Well, just by what we have is sort of again, it's just it's an immediate thought. Again, you can have like, oh, you want the show to do, it's going to do well. There's a lot of questions to be unanswered. How is like the sisters involved, like that sort of thing? Is kind of what I'm sort of trying to
If I can be a bit serious about this, since I mentioned I was going to be a bit serious, even though I really wasn't. I want to see Gotchard perform a bit different from the past writers, even though all of them are technically different in their own way. Like extremely different. Since the character is technically 17, Wiki, you're a piece of shit. But since he's turning 18 in the show, this is what we're gonna be guessing. I have high expectations. Like in general, I have expectations for this show. I hope it goes in a direction that it needs to, while also going in a direction that kind of brings back some specific fans to it. For example, me, when I was watching during the whole Revise. When I was watching during Revise, I almost left the show until like Juga came around and I was like, oh, hello there. But in general, the show was
Jugo was a good addition, I think, and it was good that they gave a female character a rider form, and they kind of needed it, like really.
Darken. That was Akilera. That was not Juga.
Huh?
Juga is the professor. I forget what his name was. Okay. The doctor. Whatever his name.
What was
George?
George.
I believe. Yeah.
The Juga
is the mad scientist kind of person. Yeah, the one who started all this.
The mad Kamen Rider fan, and he freaking was. Holy God, that was cool. That was like, oh my God, it's the ultimate fan, but he's in a show.
And but he was the reason why I continued to finish off. When I saw spoilers on my end, when I saw spoilers about him, I was like, I need to finish Revice, and so I did. But when it comes to now Gotchard, I'm hoping like get that same type of feeling during the whole show. Like Gates was one of those shows as well that I almost fell off very halfway through it. But as I saw more writers and there was all these new things and I was more hyped about it. I'm hoping Gotchard just keeps me in it, so I can keep my full attention on it. That's my only expectation for the show. But that's, like I said, that's just me. But I'm you both as well about this type of thing.
Well, I usually watch a lot of the Kamen Rider, so for me it doesn't really bother me. It gives me something to watch, and I do enjoy a lot of the Kamen Rider shows. Like, there's been one or two that I was like, not that great for me. But overall, like, yeah, I want the show to do well. I really want it to do well. I hope it's like it'll either have references to different writers or at least have some sort of connection, because again there's the rumors as there's this and this, like that's the biggest thing. Like, I really want to find out whether that a lot of these rumors are true or whether it's just like, oh yeah, it's a fuss kind of thing. So I want it to do well. I really want to give it a chance. I'm already curious to know more about the character. I'm curious to know more about that little freaking Hopper one. Like that's those sort of things are the things that keep me sort of more intrigued soon. But again, as I've said, a lot of people with things, I don't bag a series until at least I watch the first 4 to 5 episodes. That way then I get a good benchmark of what the show is, whether I'm going to like it, whether I'm going to hate it. And if I hate it, then I know, okay, I haven't wasted my time. And 5 episodes in, you know already like where everything's going, you know the plot, you know like how it's gonna work and that sort of stuff, kind of thing. So, and again, that's just me. Like, I don't know. What about you, Baku? What are your thoughts?
I too hope it does well, but I don't know my expectations for it.
Okay. Well, what are you hoping out of it? Like, is there anything you want more clarity on understanding? Are you wanting to see like interesting form, what, like that sort of stuff? Because again, there's so much to sort of take out of what's coming, but at the same time, we also don't fully know what to expect other than what we've seen so far.
Yeah. What do I want?
Well, you're a big collector as well. Are you wanting to collect something from this, or you just sort of like, at the moment it's just sort of like, I'll wait and see kind of thing? Because you're a collector. You're definitely a collector like me. So are you gonna go get the driver, or are you gonna be like someone that's gonna like, I'll wait and see a little bit before I make that decision, that sort of stuff?
Well, definitely, I love the sounds of I do like the sounds of the driver and such. It's very nice. And definitely grown on it grow on me, so I am thinking of getting it at some point. Well, there's my first immediate thought for the show itself. Is that at the very least there's some fun, like, normal life moments, I think, in the show.
Real to life ones, yeah, that's fair. I can understand that. Yeah. It's definitely gonna have a lot of, like, I'm hoping it does a lot of real world stuff, because I know Geats a few times had things like certain like depression and anxiety and all that sort of stuff, and it really harped on those sort of things. Like, there's always ways that you can resolve them, or there's ways to sort of get better and stuff like that with the right people. So I'm kind of hoping this has a similar thing. I think it does, from the initial thing, you can see that straight away. Like he goes and tries and saves the girl, or he says something, and because of that, she's stronger or something. I don't know. From what I see, there's going to be some definite real world connections there. So I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Man, that reminds me of something else about the info we have of the show. The main character, or I think he's helping his mother's restaurant, and he's thinking up recipes during the show as well, I think.
Okay. I actually didn't notice
Oh,
that.
yeah, I forgot about that little detail, yeah.
I did not notice that.
Because the technique can also apply into the whole alchemy side of things, since you need to have a recipe to make alchemy in a sense. Yeah, it's gonna be something. I think that might be something they added in on purpose, due to the fact that it's a restaurant, and he's making his own recipes as he's going along. Same with alchemy. You have to English Gopher, but you have to make the stuff, and you have to figure out what's correct and what's incorrect, and yada. I can technically see that as well.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to be an alchemist, you've got to have recipes to make stuff and stuff like that. So a ramen restaurant kind of makes sense. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
It's idea if it's a ramen restaurant, but it's a restaurant.
Well, it's a restaurant, yeah. It'd be cool if it was ramen. we haven't had a ramen Kamen Rider yet. Like what we had, like, you know, with Naruto always liking, what is it, Itataki ramen and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That would actually be kind of cool, seeing a Kamen Rider that runs all that would be cool. I want a Kamen Rider that owns a ramen restaurant. That'd be cool.
Oh my god, no.
What? I think that'd be actually kind of cool. Because we see
No, we're not talking on the idea. We're not talking on that idea.
Something is hungry.
Again, but it's funny though, because each, I don't know, well, now I can bring this up before we end it as well. It's like we've seen each rider has like a general profession as well.
True.
Whereas in this one, Geats didn't. Geats made himself a celebrity, but he didn't really do much other than, you know, photo shoots and then talk. There wasn't really anything to it. So this one is that we know he's a student, which again is not a non-surprisable thing. But at the same time, it would be kind of cool to see like an actual general Kamen Rider that's like, oh, he runs a ramen shop and then eventually founds the power or something like that. That'd be kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
It'd be definitely different.
True.
But yeah. I guess that could be done for another topic. All right. Well, we'll call it there. I think we've had a good little discussion for the up and coming Tokusatsu show, Kamen Rider Gotchard. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we can quickly discuss and finish it off on? I think just your thoughts on Gotchard. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Or are we just wanting to just say, we'll wait and see? What do you guys think? How do you want to play this?
On my end, I'm gonna say I'll wait and see, since it's still not out yet. So I'll wait and see.
Yeah. And Baku?
Definitely very interested, because I do like the suits we've seen so far.
Yeah, I definitely love his main one. I love the colors.
Yeah, Steam Hopper is good.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're all right. I thought you were about to say something else, and I was like, oh, okay, what else? Okay. That's fine. Alrighty, well, I think we'll call it there then. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to keep up to date with these guys, definitely go check them out. If you guys want to, give yourselves a shout out, let people know where they can find you, go for it. Good way of sort of people finding other content creators. So we'll go with Hunter first this time.
Hi, yes, I am a content creator on Twitch platform at HunterKinuki32, capital H, capital T, capital H, capital K, whoops. I mostly post on Twitter as of recent, since I am taking on a major hiatus on streams. I've been posting on to Twitter about my thoughts on a lot of things. So if you want to come follow me there, Hunter Kinuki 32 is my @. Well, without the ER, it's Hunt Kinuki 32, since the name doesn't fully fit on Twitter. But come find me there. I'll randomly talk about writer stuff. I'll share spoilers if I have to at times, because I get spoilers from other Tokusatsu fans. Trust me, I hate it. But in general, I'm mostly on there. I do retweet a lot of art, so be on the lookout for me in general there.
Awesome. There you go, guys. And then Baku.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch on Baku_craft. I stream a variety of stuff. I'll sometimes talk about different stuff of my interests. And tangent myself as well. You can also find me on Twitter at BakuCraft_VT, I believe. Let me double check my ad. Because I know I changed it.
I recently changed it. Nice. Okay.
A while ago though, because as I originally had it as Baycrafter WBO when it
okay.
was definitely, and then I changed it to BakuCraft_VT is my @ capital B, capital C, capital VT. You can also find me on TikTok, but I mostly post if you're, but I mostly post. Mainly belly stuff.
Fair enough.
Oh,
well,
no.
if you're into that, I guess that's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong here.
I do want to do more stuff, but that's what I've been consistently making.
That's fine. That's fine. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, Kamen Rider Gotchard officially goes live this Sunday, the 3rd of September. So if you are definitely interested and want to know more about it, definitely go check out the show. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tonight. My name is Darken Tiger, the Tiger from Down Under. You can catch me on my usual socials. And yeah, thank you guys again for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Darken.
Yeah, no worries. But again, make sure you go give Baku and Hunter some love. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. Up next, we are going to be taking a time to highlight a content creator. They're obviously been doing this for a while, so I'm sure you guys would enjoy. Please make sure you listen to the VOD, or if you are on the podcast, definitely listen to this awesome person. Give him all the precious. Go give him a follow. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. Until then, we will see you next week for the next podcast. Haven't got an idea yet for the topic, but I'm sure I'll find something out in the time. But as always, take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay awesome, and yeah, make sure to stick around and listen to the highlighted content creator for this week. Until then, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Janet.
Janet.
What?
Nothing's wrong with that. I like it. Johnny, or as what's his name? Kamen Rider Blood, Ciao.
I could have said Matane, but like.
Matane. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Wait till that.
Hey, I didn't see you there. I guess I'm next on the spotlight. Well, let's begin, shall we? My name is Tyr, and I am Icelandic. And no, this is not Iceland. This is. My Sona is a grey wolf, but I do have another, and it's a protogen called Shimuyuki, or Yuki for short. I'm a soon-to-be graduate, hoping to study general zoology or marine biology because of my love for nature. I am still looking for a job, as it is kind of hard nowadays to get one. What I mainly do is I play what I find fun, like fantasy or sci-fi, and I stream it while doing so. Streaming has allowed me to have a routine after college, which has helped me with my mental health. Streaming has also helped me meet new people, make new friends, and bring people together. I started streaming around fall in 2021 and hit affiliate about a year later. I also play a bit of VR chat, and I do post some content there. But that's for spicy Twitter to know about. And if you want to find my socials, here you can find my Twitch, and here you can find my Discord server, which has the more questionable social links. Thank you, Darken, for inviting me, and hope you have a good rest of your podcast.